G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today, we're on Gorge to witness two of the top level players. I'm not going to say the world's best because, well, one of them you may not have heard of just yet, but don't worry, we'll introduce him soon. And they're going head-to-head here on Gorge as part of EGC TV's brand new tournament. I'm looking forward to it because we've got the big Byzantines in here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce them. In the north of the map, in the color red, playing as the Byzantines, representing Volda, I think it's Volda Esports. He hails from, you know, that good part of the world, the one that's got healthcare and, like, just, I don't know, it's weird, but I like it. Anyway, it's Mahodo. Mahodo? Oh, we've done Mahodo before. You guys will remember Mahodo. How could I forget Mahodo? And on the south side of the map, in the color yellow, playing as the Rus, representing Team Fox, we've got Anatant. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gorge. A pleasure to have your company here today. We're going to do our best to make as few Frodo jokes as we possibly can, and hopefully you'll like that as much as you like this video. So make sure you go ahead, hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm looking at my screen right now and I'm like, hold on, did that like button not come up? It's meant to come up at the minute marker, but I didn't see it come up. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I'll have to go in. Maybe I missed it. You know, sometimes I miss these things. Anyway, make sure you hit the like button if you're enjoying this content, and let's talk a little bit about this matchup. So the Byzantines added about a year ago. They've developed well. People understand them. People know what they're good at. And largely it is that big power spike that we see in the Castle Age. Nice little build-up of units in the Feudal Age, and then typically after that, it is just a whole bunch of units that seem to trickle out of their production very quickly. Now, one thing to note is we do have deer on this map. We're up against the Rus, so there is the prospect of professional scouts. I think as the Byzantines, you're typically not going to be overly enthusiastic about taking professional scouts just because it's kind of counterintuitive, right? You want to be grabbing the berries, you want to be moving around, picking up as much olive oil as you can, because from these berries you will get olive oil, yet from the deer you won't. So it's a bit of this weird thing where it's almost like you want to take the deer and secure the deer, but don't eat the deer. It's a strange little thing, because you got to remember that every deer you take is one less deer your enemy can take. So that turns out to be a big swing, right? If these are 350 food, and that's 350 food your enemy's getting, if you deny that from them, not only do you deny that 350 food, but you also gain 350 food. At least you gain 350 food that, you know, it's 350 food that you're not going to have to build your olive groves to. But I guess you can similarly play this civilization to the English, where you can almost just ignore the hunts completely. Though we even have seen the English begin to develop a little bit of favoritism towards professional scouts recently. But the age up does come through now for Anatant. It's going to be him dropping down the Golden Gate. And let's talk a little bit about this tournament. We're getting through to the pointy end of the tournament now. This is where it all comes down to. We are basically at like our final 8, roughly around that, and all of these lads, I think actually maybe about final 12. It's kind of like American Idol. The question is going to be, who is Carrie Underwood, and is she going to come? Was it Carrie Underwood, or was it Kelly Clarkson? Kelly Clarkson, right? She was, I think she was the very first American Idol, wasn't she? And you know, I think it was because of her that I never strayed too far from the dark side. If it wasn't for her, please, I'm just really hoping that that's her song, Kelly Clarkson, because of you. I think it is. It's a very emotional song, and if it wasn't her, then, you know, the fact that we've attributed it to her here just indicates her emotional nature. Anyway, we got Age Up coming through. Sorry, I'm on a bit of a weird spot today. Now, speaking of weird, I've just woken up. I casted a game last night, and then I said, you know what, it's time to cast more. I'm in the mood. Sometimes you get into it, and sometimes you really look to try and go ham with it. But have a look at this. We got a little bit of a deer push coming in. Mahodo not going to allow it, and as a result, we see a whole bunch of deer get taken out. Mahodo being forced away though, and the rest of the deer going to get pushed in. We do see professional scouts, and this is a smart utilization of these deer by Anatant, or rather of these scouts, because if you think about it right, these scouts are going to have to pull these deer through, unless you can actually just push them into the base, take them out, in which case it's just one less deer pack you have to think about. It frees you up. You can now start to challenge the enemy deer a lot sooner. And one of the things that we see Mahodo doing here, instead of going into his own professional scouts, we see Wheelbarrow coming through. We also see the Hardened Lamentinite upgrade coming through. It looks like he's just going to be defending it. And I think this is such a smart move because of the proximity of these two hunts to each other. It makes it such an easy defense. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw just a little wall at the back, something like that. Maybe a wall across the front here. It's a big wall though. But really just try and funnel in those scouts. Make sure there's no secret little way that they can try and get through. And that's just going to prevent the enemy from ever getting access to those deer. Now, speaking of access, have a look at this. Professional Scouts is about to come through. Another 8 seconds. We do see that Anatan is moving towards the edge of the map, looking to start picking these up. He's got 6 scouts out at the moment. I don't know where they all are. Looks like these 3 deer did make it to the TC. Expect to see survival techniques on the way shortly. You can see he's got that 7th scout in queue now as he picks up the rest of these deer. But it's one less trip he's going to have to do, and that will mean, naturally, that he gets out onto the map sooner. Now, hold on a minute. Does Anatan not see the hunts? Now, Anatan would know where the hunts are, right? Because he looks at the map and he says, hold on, there's no hunts here, which means your hunts have to be here. So I suspect he's probably going to go for a little bit of a dive here, bring everybody at the same time. You can see he has got 7 scouts at the moment. So this one is initially just going to come out, do a little bit of spotting, do a little bit of intel, and then once he knows exactly where it is, that's when he can commit. And he spots the double deer hunts, realizes they're both next to each other, and that this might be a tough heist. All right, well, we'll check in now with how things are beginning to move. There's the survival techniques coming through for him. No wheelbarrow just yet. Look at the amount of gold he's got in the... Excuse me. Why does he have so much... Oh, right, the Golden Gate. He's going for a castle edge. I was looking at it like, why does he have so much gold in the bank? And then it all made sense. It all clicked. Let's check in with Mahodo and see how he's doing. As the numbers have begun to build, he's moving into longbows, so taking a different contract route than the javelin throwers, the Keshiks. Definitely a more... I like this a lot. I think this is the smartest one. It's more flexible. All right, well, we've got scouts looking to try and chase, or rather be chased by these Lamentinite. Lamentinite able to take out that wolf. High Trade House now going to be coming down on the backside of the base. Nice little spot here. I don't think you could really find a better spot for it, especially on this map. Hunts, rather the woodlines, nowhere near close enough for you. And let's check in with Mahodo once again. Outpost on the gold. No real prospect of Castle Age just yet. Still making units, in fact. Still making more Lamentinite. Just really wants to do his best to secure this up. And this could be problematic, because if Varangian Guards start really pushing towards him, then you could have trouble. But have a look at what Mahodo might be doing. Is he going for a bit of a deer push himself? We are starting to see the beginning of the deer push meta. That's what I'm going to be calling it, the beginning of the deer push meta. I don't care if it happened 6 years ago. All I'm saying is that we are seeing players... we've gone from... players not going professional scouts to going professional scouts to players that are not going professional scouts, denying the enemy from collecting the deer. And then look at him herding all the deer in. He's herding. This is the 2nd hunt that he's herding right now. He says, no, mate, that's my deer. You're not going to be touching it. He's herding the 2nd hunt over to the 1st hunt. Look at the amount of deer he's got. This is actually, when you think about it, this is such a big brain play. And I feel like it only just kind of clicked for him as well, because he wasn't really doing it before, and he definitely could have been doing it earlier. And then he was like, hold on a minute, I've got an idea. What if I just push all of the deer out? Instead, he's going to abandon them. The problem is they will naturally move back towards this location. You can see they already start to go. So you got to kind of keep a Lamentinite here just to on patrol even, just to try and prevent them from coming, because look how quickly they go. They are so damn fast. He's a speedy boy. And he's lost it. He's lost it just like that. For what? I mean, he's probably looking just to challenge relics. That's going to be the big thing here. We'll ride on board now with Anatan and see how he is doing as he begins to make his way across the map. Our first scouts are looking, but we are yet to have our warrior scout, rather warrior monk. But there's the first one for you. Now arriving onto the battlefield. It gets spotted out by Mahodo here. The scout already in position, knows where the enemy Lamentinite are, and just gives it up. He says, nah, I can't do it. It's not going to work. Heads to the other side instead, and there's already 2 relics over there. So I think Mahodo could 100% play this position. I just find it curious that he didn't leave like 1 or 2 Lamentinite back here. I mean, we do see that, but obviously he's kind of dropped the ball there, and they've all just moved back. Just when I was getting excited about maybe seeing a next level meta development, unfortunately, it actually just all goes. The deer meta is 100% defining of this season, though. That is for sure. We've seen it evolve a couple of different ways, and I think this is probably the most... the word I'm looking for is like ingenuity, something to do with that. But it's the long COVID again. It's trickling in and saying, "Nah, Drongo, you can't remember that word. Don't even try thinking of that word." It's definitely got the most ingenuity. I think that's just literally the word. Creativity. Let's go with creativity. That's also a good word. Single spearman, rather single Lament on the relic in the north. Not going to do a whole lot here. He's going to try and challenge. Look at the warrior monk, dude. It's so quick. Spearman can't even keep up with it. Rather, Lament can't even keep up with it. Gets one shot, and now all of a sudden, you can see, does he get the charge out? He does actually get the charge out. So technically, if you were running to the ends of the earth, you could actually get this kill, but you can see just the single Lament is not going to be it, Chief. Not today. Longbows moving across the map. They've got their bows on their back, ready to go. Age Up comes through. It's going to be the Golden Horn Tower. No real surprise here. Definitely considered by many to be the best Byzantine Castle Age landmark. But I do know that there are some jiggly enjoyers out there. Horse Archers now going to be coming out. The flavor of the month for the Roost, definitely. We've seen plenty of them. Now, I think earlier over here, I was talking about Varangian Guards coming in and like cleaning this up. But then I'm just realizing now that this is our Rus player and this is our Byzantine player. And our Byzantine player would be the one that would have Varangian Guards, not the Rus player. So what I actually would have meant was professional scouts. What I actually would have meant was men-at-arms. So apologies, but what's interesting to see is that in the end, we do actually get our deer out. The men do spot it. They're going to have to drop it, otherwise he will lose the scout, and that's something that you do want to avoid. Meanwhile, in the back of the base, single, double men-at-arms, just sieging down buildings, just being annoying. It's just one of those things where it's like, now you got to respond to me. Now you got to just be out here. So far in the bank, 2 relics. Anatan is trying to gather all the things. He's got the deer. He's got the relics. What else? What else can he possibly gather from this map and bring it back to the safety of your base? There's really not a whole lot of things. That's pretty much it, right? Deer and relics. It sounds like a good dinner. Venison and religion. Absolutely perfect. What could go wrong? We could make a religion out of that. we probably could. There's probably a religion that worships the venison. You know, now that I think about it, there probably almost is. What would you call it? God of the hunt. That's it. It's literally we made a religion out of this. Speaking of religion, have a look at this. You're gonna need prayers to be answered if you want to win this one, Bahodo. Bit of a struggle. Crossbows finally gonna start coming out. Longbows are gonna be instrumental in dealing with these horse archers. Interestingly, not going into the javelins to deal with them, but I think that makes the most sense. The longbow a lot more flexible than the javelin. Javelin definitely a little bit more funneled towards a single potential outcome. The thing I love about the longbows is the much higher fire rate. At least what appear to be a higher fire rate. I'd have to double check my numbers here. I think, what is it, 1.62 on the longbow and then have to be like a 2.4 on the javelin? Maybe it's just like the wind-up animation is really long, and so it feels like the fire rate's really long, but it's not actually. Maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be somebody in the comment. There'll be a wise guy in the comments who says, "Actually, Drongo," puts the little finger up, does the face. What's his name? You guys know the guy I'm talking about, right? Like the hello. No, what's his name? Oh man, he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He streams on Twitch. He's quite popular. And he does the finger. That's all. He streams with Jinxie. That's all I know. Anyway, that's got to be you in the comments. I did actually see that previously. What is going on here? Did anybody see that? Long distance drop off with gold and now back out. Did he just have a second thought? He was going to do a transition onto stone or something? Perhaps. Horse archers in the back of the base. Maybe it was he saw the horse archers coming around. And so he moved the Vils out, dropped them off just in case, but then by the time they'd run through, he was able to move them back over onto gold. I think that's probably what it was. There's nothing else that really makes sense. Sacred Site's now being captured. Anatan just doing an incredible job of running the enemy around. Can I just throw out some mad respect here? The fact that Anatan feels 100% in control of this game. Why does he feel in control of this game? There's a couple reasons. Number one, he's picked up 4 out of the 5 relics, so that's always a good indicator. Number 2, he secured all of his hunt and then attempted to deny a couple of deer from his opponent. It looks like in the end, he only got 2. Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up here. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So he only got 2. So while he might feel in control, he might not actually be in control. And a 10 now. Beginning to move out across the map. Mahodo on the defense. He's going to try and deal with these horse archers. What's the attack speed on the horse archer? 2.12. So they got quite a bit of a slow attack speed. They got some good speed on them though. Mangonel in placement coming through. Lanchconnector have joined the field. It's Ronald McDonald in his patented red and yellow outfit. Watch out. All the men at arms going to be running away. And this is all you need. Honestly, this is all you need. Just 3 Lanch connects and you got to respect it. You got to respect it. He does the right thing. He falls back. This is 100% the right call to make. And you can see even just the crossbows just destroying the Lanch connector, dude. You got 4 crossbows and it's like Lanch connector. They're so weak, man. Oh, it's a sad state of affairs to be a Lanch connect enjoyer. There should be an upgrade for Lanch Connect that makes them invulnerable. Like, they just don't die. That's what I would like to see. Coming in Season 10, Age of Empires 4, you heard it here first. That's a leak. I've been permitted to leak that one to you guys. Ronald McDonald gets a new upgrade. It's called Burger Time. You have to make a burger grave for it, but it gives you invulnerability on your Lanch Connector. Unironically, that could be a sick upgrade. Like, make it so it's like you've got invulnerability for like 4 seconds. That would actually be sick. It's like an activatable, and it's called Heart of the Beef, Cow Heart. I'm sorry. All right, let's get back on topic. Okay, to be fair, I feel like this is actually some high quality memes that I'm putting in your direction right now. If you haven't already, please post these on Reddit. Get it like a couple hundred upvotes, and then the devs will have to implement it in Season 10. That's the way that it works. Don't you guys know? Devs actually listen to Reddit. Oh, anything you want added to the game, just post it on Reddit. I'm just trying to drive engagement for the Reddit. Hold on, has Reddit got 2 mentions in 2 videos? Is that what I'm seeing? I think it might be, because we mentioned Reddit last night, didn't we? Anyway, well, let's move on. Second TC coming down from Mahodo. Actually, not a bad decision right here for him. I do like this one, because we've got the second down, so they're coming down for Enatan as well. They both looked at it, stopped, taken a little bit of a stock take, and said, well, you know, things are at a bit of a slow point in time here. I can go for a second TC, and I think both of these guys are right. The only trouble is, this is the biggest difficulty I've got reconciling, is you've got that 3 relic advantage for Enatan. He's picked up 4 compared to the enemy's 1. And that will be a bonus that lasts into the late game, because you've got to remember, right? If we think about that, right? 3 relics, each one 80 gold a minute, 240 gold a minute. So if you've got 4,000 gold, by the way, has he just literally never touched his gold once, dude? He's never taken gold. He's got 727 gold a minute, and he's never even touched his gold mine. Look at this. I bet you he's building up tickets as well. He is. He's got 3 tickets still. This is insanity. This civilization doesn't even need gold. He hasn't built a mining camp this game. Oh, he's taken his first little bit of stone. Oh, my mistake. Sorry, guys. Sorry. 18 minutes, so he decides, you know what, stone might be a bit helpful this game. Let's hit the button. That's absolute insanity when you think about it. That you could have such significant gold generation coming through. And I think that's part of what makes Lurus such a great civilization. It's that passive gold that's coming through. This is gold that is always going to be there for you. It's gold that is never going to give you up. It's never going to let you down. It's never going to run around, and it will never desert you until your monastery gets taken down by the enemy, and your relics get stolen, and your landmark gets sniped by fire lancers. Oddly specific, I know. It's a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. What was that TV show? Do you guys remember watching that as a kid? I remember this. I remember as a kid watching a TV show. I think it was a cartoon, and it says, the following is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. And then it's like, you know, we went down to the sewers, and we saw a sewer monster, and the sewer monster ate us, and now we're here. Like, that was like the story. I don't remember what that was, man. I'm gonna chalk that one up to just like it being too long ago. That must have been like, what, 1998, 1999 that I was watching that stuff? Man, they were the good old days. I tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the good old days are before the towers fell. After that, everything just fell apart. Although, to be fair, I reckon for like the newer age that don't know the difference between like pre and post 9/11, it's like before COVID and after COVID. Like before COVID, that was the golden age. And then after COVID, it's like, it's terrible. And it's, it's funny, man. What's going to be the next like defining moment of our civilization? It might be AI, actually. I think that could be a big thing. We've seen some big developments in AI, actually. I don't know if you've been paying attention to AI recently, but there's some really crazy developments coming out of China at the moment, where basically they've just got... One of the biggest problems that you've got with AI is that as you get increasingly more complex, you require more power and require more compute. And they've basically come out with a model that's like really cheap to run, and it was really cheap to develop, and it's like actually as good as the billion-dollar models. So kind of wild, but yeah, watch this space. R1 is looking scary. If you just search, actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure it's like the #1 app on the on the App Store for Apple. Oh my God, Sprinkles! No, that's a misclick. I know a misclick when I see it. This is coming from Anatan. Did Anatan watch the Fey game? Did Anatan watch the Fey game? Does he know? Does he know the tech? Does he know the tech? I think what's kind of crazy is with AI, especially, and like these new models that come out and how quickly they're adapting. Like you can literally have a business that's non-existent one night, and then the next day it's #1 on the App Store. Like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Just because of like the product that you've got is so incredibly good and affordable. I don't know what their business model is. I would suspect it's probably like everybody else's. But let's talk less about that and more about this game, because have a look at this. Huge amount of range units on the backside. He's going to try and get a little bit of a sniperoo through. Lange connector, hand in hand with Varangian guards as they defend the front line. A lot of men-at-arms and crossbows beginning to build up. Anatan avoiding the cavalry for the moment. On the backside, a couple of melee units, and he's going to try and get out. Keep in mind, the kiting continues. Longbow's doing a wonderful job, and this is something that the javelin throwers have a lot of trouble with, but he manages to escape with a good chunk of army, and that's absolutely magnificent. This is so important that you escape with this army, because if you lose this army, you lose the game immediately. This is something that's so important in these tournament games to do, and that is to try and keep some form of the army alive. Don't let it all die slowly, and then all at once. What is the saying? Slowly, then all at once? Something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of wild. Just how quick these things pop off. Because I guess with the internet and word of mouth, right? People just they tell their friend, and their friend tells their friend, and then all of a sudden it's #1 on the App Store. Mangonel looking to get into position. A lot of crossbows here. You'd think typically crossbows against longbows, the longbows would be favored, but not in this position, because we've got a Mangonel that's chasing up the rear, continuing to kite, needs to pull these Lametalai forward. He does it. Look at the micro. Very impressive micro. Manages to move all the army back except for the Lametalai, sacrifices them, and as a result, he's able to get the rest of the army out, taking out the horsemen. Walls have come up. We've still got raids that are happening. Are these warrior monks? These look like warrior monks. What are you doing over here, brother? No relics over this side. Keep now coming down. Look at Anatan, dude. So aggressive. Doesn't need the gold, but just says, hey, man, just in case. By the way, first gold, 23 minutes into the game. Just for anyone curious, by the way, 23 minutes into the game, we're getting on gold. We decided, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea we get some... look at this. He's getting the upgrades straight away. This is how you know a guy is good at the game. He's getting the upgrades. I'm looking at you, Puppy Paw. I'm looking at you, Vortex and Luciferon and Wham. You guys who play Delhi and never get the upgrades, because who needs upgrades? I'm Delhi. Right, exactly. Siege Workshop getting thrown down on the edge here. Oh, you got yourself a little bit of a classic right now. This is, I like to call this one the Beastie Classic. This is what he does so well, Beastie. Throws a keep down on the edge, Siege Workshop as well, and you're just going to start funneling battering rams into the enemy base. Oh, it's so damn difficult to deal with. Have a look at this. Horsemen going to make the run by. Those Byzantine horsemen look so damn gorgeous, don't they? Look at the modeling on them is absolutely amazing. I know they've been out for a long time, the Byzantines, but I tell you what, maybe it's just my my new monitor that I've got that just makes them look that much better, that much clearer. God, they look beautiful. All sacred sites now captured. Nothing towards the north. To the south, not a whole lot of defense, and to the middle. This is not a real sacred victory. This is a sacred victory just for the memes. And our memes are dreams called gold. Vils on the run, spots it immediately, runs straight towards the army, goes for a bit of a quick wall, says, hey, you know what? We're going to try a little something here. You can take the Vils out, but I don't care, mate, because I'm going to take out all your cav, and if your cav is dead, that means less army to actually have to deal with when the push comes to the shove. Anatan might be thinking about going Imperial Age here. Not going to be a Spasskaya, almost certainly not. If you were going to Spasskaya here, where would you do it? You'd have to go like over here, right? It would just make the most sense, and you just run it down. But even then, what's the point? It's just go High Armory, and that's exactly what he does now. High Armory, back of the base. Looks like he's got the single siege workshop here for the moment. Yep, so perfectly positioned. Very well played. Anatan just making... I don't even know where he's really finding these gains, and I think that's part of the reason why the top players are just the top players. Like, you can watch somebody play perfectly, right? Like, we've seen Mahodo play very well in this game, and yet still, how do you discern where the advantages came from? I can't point to, like, move 37 and just be like, right here. It doesn't happen. To me, it's just like, we've got two players who are quite evenly matched, and there doesn't seem to... maybe it's the raids. You know, we've kind of seen a theme throughout this game of units coming into the back of the base of the Byzantines, and it has been annoying. It's been frustrating to deal with. He's taken out a fair bit of Vils. You know, 14 Vils ain't nothing to mess with. Neither is the Wu-Tang clan. Sorry. All right, let's move on, Drongo. That's enough talk about the Wu-Tang clan. The Wu-Tang clan get one sentence, and that's enough. That's enough time, or that's enough talk about the Wu-Tang clan. But you know, we'll talk about aliens for 4 minutes. That's the rules of engagement. Boiling oil almost in here. 20 seconds to go. He'll be able to look at the keep and see that it doesn't have the boiling oil upgrade in yet. You can tell because there'll be little manholes or little windows, and that's where the oil comes out of that boils. So he's going to try and stick the keep. Let's see if he's able to get the tech off. 5 seconds. Boiling oil could do a lot of damage to these units. Vils are inside. He can always go for a repair as well. There's the boiling oil. You can now see that the oil drops down onto the enemy units. He's got the ability to repair. Keep is going down, though. A lot of ranged units at the back here. Let's see what the play here is. There's the Vils. Drops him out. Another boiling oil gets through. He's still not working down any of the Vils. Now it's going to start. Meanwhile, towards that top side, we've got more action as units attempt to break through. Imperial Age upgrades are on the way. And after slowly these Vils get picked off one by one, the boiling oil has done a lot of damage. He's lost a huge amount of units in this mix. And now the majority of the army for Anatan is towards this top side. Anatan is just pulling him apart limb by limb right now. More Vils on stone. He could be looking for a subsequent keep at the front. Where is the gold coming from? He's got 3.6k back here. That's it. When that runs out, that's it for the Byzantines. A gold-heavy civilization. 48 longbows at the moment on the field, but this is the consequence of going for that slow, immobile composition. Anatan now continuing to build that Vil lead as more and more Vils get taken out. He's taken out 34, and such a smart move by him. He gave up these Vils, knowing that it would extend the amount of time that those enemy units were drawn down there to deal with those Vils in the keep. And as a result, he's able to get into the enemy base and dish out a huge amount of damage economically. 35 Vils taken out. That gap continues to build. Longbow's going to be able to defend here and needs to continue cutting back. Double mangonels, a little bit of UAV tech, a little bit of UAP tech rather, coming through for you. This is not human technology, though it is human constructed. Mangoes get shots off. Have we got our upgrade? We don't have our upgrade just yet. We're looking for it. The crossbars that adjust a little bit more than the usual. Meanwhile, more men at arms in the back of the base. He's just getting absolutely run around right now. I feel like I'm watching a GUA game. Anatan is doing this is kind of wild, man. Like, you really got to respect the game when you see this kind of stuff. Foreign engineering company going to come down here. I think, like, that's the biggest thing that stands out to me is there doesn't really seem to be a pivotal moment that you can point to and say, okay, this is where it all changed. Like, it just kind of felt like it was a slow trickle over time. You know, like the 3 extra relics, the slow little raids that see Vil after Vil, and you know, like one bad trade down here that worked out in the favor of Anatan, and that's it. Is that the only difference that we can really find and point to here? I think overall this was also another really smart play. Like, this was a huge brain play, and it's important that we emphasize how big that was, because by leaving this army down here to be, you know, dealing with the Vils that are repairing the keep, it means that they have to stay there. And the longer that they stay there, the less That is a Byzantine keep getting thrown down. The less value the army is getting, because all of a sudden they have to walk across the map, and now the enemy army is slowly burning everything down. More keeps coming up in the center. Sacred Site, what's our timer looking like? We're at 5 minutes. 5 minutes on Sacred Sites, keeps going up. I think this could be it. He's looking to actually finish here. One of the things you've got to be really careful about in a situation like this is your enemy going for a little bit of a snipe. So what he does is he throws down the keep on the Sacred Sites. I'd love to see just a couple of walls around this as well. Just a layer of walls just to stop, you know, 5 or 6 horsemen running through and stopping this. That would be the best way to play it. But even then, you know, he's got a good villager lead here. We're up 40 vills at this stage. How many TCs is he on? He's still on 2 TCs. So this is all just, you know, killing the enemy vills and getting a lead that way. Well, we check in over on that east side. Horsemen are looking to break through once again. Vill's going to try and run towards the gate before it falls. More Vills idly standing by. Siege is... Oh, he's not going to be able to make it. The horseman about to run through. There it is. Cleanup crew is happening. He's got still men at arms at the back of the base, dude. Oh, he just gives it up. He says, I can't. Please stop it. Stop it right now. He make it stop, and he does make it stop. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Go check out EGC TV this weekend. 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday. These guys are going to be there. At least one of them will be there. One of them probably going to get knocked out, and we'll leave it there, and we'll catch you in the next one.